Hi everybody. Welcome back to the ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today, we're diving deep into the thrilling July sweeps preview for Port Charles, where jaw-dropping secrets, explosive confrontations, and long-anticipated comebacks promise to keep fans on the edge of their seats. Buckle up as we explore the tumultuous twists and turns that lie ahead in this beloved soap opera, with fresh details and intriguing possibilities added to every storyline. From wedding disasters to mysterious returns, and from dangerous schemes to shocking betrayals, there's no shortage of drama in store. Let's unpack each riveting plotline with a closer look at what might unfold for our favorite characters. The first storm brewing on the horizon centers around Willow Tate and Drew Kane's whirlwind romance, which seems destined for chaos as they race toward a lightning-fast wedding. Despite warnings from friends and family, Willow appears resolute in her decision to tie the knot with Drew in record time, brushing aside doubts about their compatibility. However, this impulsive decision might come at a steep cost. Rumors are swirling that Tracy Quartermaine, never one to mince words, could drop a bombshell about Drew's steamy past encounters with Nina Reeves right in the middle of the ceremony. Imagine the gasps in the church as Tracy's sharp tongue unleashes the scandal, potentially shattering Willow's trust in her groom. Alternatively, Nina herself might step into the fray, driven by a mix of jealousy and genuine concern, to reveal the truth in a desperate bid to halt the marriage. The fallout could be catastrophic, with Willow's already fragile emotional state pushed to the breaking point. Adding another layer to this drama, subtle clues from recent episodes suggest that Willow might be experiencing mysterious blackouts, during which she unknowingly fixates on Sasha Gilmore Corbin's infant daughter, Daisy. Could this psychological unraveling lead to a terrifying kidnapping attempt as Willow's obsession deepens? The stakes couldn't be higher as her mental health deteriorates, leaving viewers to wonder if anyone will intervene before tragedy strikes. Meanwhile, Brooklyn Quartermaine is playing a dangerous game with a revenge scheme that could have dire consequences for Lulu Spencer and her loved ones. Motivated by old grudges and a desire to settle scores, Brooklyn's carefully laid plans might spiral out of control, ensnaring innocent bystanders in her web of deception. Perhaps she's targeting a vulnerable aspect of Lulu's life, maybe her relationships or her coercing insider knowledge to inflict maximum damage. The tension is palpable as we anticipate whether Brooklyn will have a change of heart or double down on her vendetta. What's clear is that her actions could ignite a firestorm of conflict within the Spencer family, with ripple effects that reshape alliances in Port Charles for months to come. Fans are already speculating about how Lulu might fight back, potentially uncovering Brooklyn's machinations before it's too late. One of the most electrifying developments this July is the buzz surrounding Britt Westburn, whose name has resurfaced with curious frequency in recent storylines. This is no mere coincidence, as whispers confirm that the talented Kelly Thibault is making her grand return to General Hospital during the sweeps. While the network remains tight-lipped about whether Thibault will reprise her iconic role as Britt or debut as an entirely new character, the possibilities are endless. Could this comeback tie into the enigmatic experiments conducted in Professor Henry Hank Dalton's shadowy laboratory, a location teased relentlessly in recent months? The lab, hidden away from prying eyes, has become a hotbed of intrigue, with eerie hints suggesting groundbreaking or perhaps horrifying discourse within its walls. Both Jocelyn Jacks and Jason Morgan are independently digging into Dalton's secretive operations, and their investigations might converge in a dramatic rescue mission for Britt. Some fans are floating the wild theory of a cloning plotline, imagining a scenario where Britt's return involves a doppelganger created in Dalton's lab. Whether she's the original Britt or a genetic duplicate, seeing Thibault grace our screens again will be a highlight of the season, promising emotional reunions and shocking revelations. Elsewhere in Port Charles, Sonny Corinthos finds himself entangled in an escalating web of danger that threatens to upend his empire. The notorious mob boss faces dual perils, the looming specter of imprisonment as law enforcement tightens the noose around his illicit activities, and the ever-present risk of deadly assassination attempts from rival factions. Each day brings Sonny closer to a breaking point, testing his resilience and cunning as he navigates betrayals from within his inner circle. Will he uncover a mole among his trusted allies, or will a long-buried secret from his past resurface to haunt him? The drama intensifies as Sonny's decisions impact not just his own fate, but also the safety of those he holds dear, setting the stage for heart-pounding confrontations. Sonny's son, Michael Corinthos isn't faring much better, as his recent triumph in a bitter custody battle hangs by a thread. The victory, orchestrated through underhanded means by the cunning Jen Sidwell, could crumble if the truth about the bribery involved comes to light. Imagine the courtroom drama if a whistleblower exposes the deal, forcing Michael to face not only the loss of custody but also a tarnished reputation. The moral dilemma weighs heavily on him: should he come clean and risk everything, or continue to hide the deception at the cost of his integrity? The emotional toll of this storyline will resonate with viewers, as Michael grapples with the consequences of his choices and the potential heartbreak of losing what matters most. Finally, a surprising twist emerges in the form of Cody Bell's calculated seduction of Ava Jerome, a ploy that might backfire in ways no one saw coming. Initially conceived as a strategic move to gain leverage, Cody's Fox romance with Ava could take an unexpected turn if genuine feelings begin to blossom between them. What if Cody, caught off guard by Ava's charm and vulnerability, finds himself second-guessing his original intentions? Alternately, a slip of the tongue or a moment of weakness might lead him to tip Ava off about the ulterior motives behind his affections, unraveling the entire scheme. This complication would spell disaster for Christina Corinthos Davis, whose overarching plan hinges on Cody's success. As bad news looms on the horizon, Christina will need to think on her feet, revising her strategy to salvage her goals. The dynamic interplay between these characters promises a roller coaster of emotions, with trust and betrayal at the forefront of every interaction. Next, we're delving into the electrifying clash between Sonny Corinthos and the cunning Jen Sidwell. As tensions in Port Charles reach a boiling point with revelations and threats that could reshape the town's power dynamics. This July, the stakes have never been higher, with half-confessions, dangerous ambitions, and potential retaliations setting the stage for an explosive showdown. Join us as we unpack every layer of this gripping feud, weaving in fresh details, inventive twists, and deeper insights into what might unfold for Sonny and his family. From strategic maneuvers to potential alliances and devastating consequences, there's much to explore in this saga of power and vengeance. The drama kicked off this week when Jen Sidwell, with a calculated smirk, dropped the bombshell on Sonny Corinthos by partially owning up to his sinister intentions. In a tense confrontation at a dimly lit waterfront meeting spot, Sidwell admitted his burning desire to dismantle Sonny's iron grip on Port Charles, aiming to strip away the mob boss's influence piece by piece. However, he craftily avoided taking full responsibility for the devastating attacks that have plagued Sonny's world, such as the catastrophic penthouse bombing that nearly claimed Michael Corinthos' life last season. Sonny, with his signature steely glare, absorbed the veiled threat but refused to be intimidated, warning Sidwell to steer clear of his path before storming off. This bold exchange has left viewers buzzing with anticipation about the inevitable collision course these two titans are on. Could Sidwell's audacious half-truths be the spark that ignites an all-out war, engulfing the entire town in chaos? With Sidwell now openly declaring his ambition to seize control of Sonny's Pierce, a critical hub for his underground operations, battle lines are drawn, promising a showdown filled with grit and high stakes. Fans are already speculating about whether Sonny will unleash his fury or bide his time for a more cunning strike. Sidwell's partial confession, delivered with a chilling mix of arrogance and evasion during their charged encounter, laid bare his ultimate goal: to end Sonny's reign as the unchallenged kingpin of Port Charles. Yet, he danced around the specifics of his involvement in the brutal bombing or other shadowy schemes that have targeted the Corinthos family over the months. Sonny, recently recovering from a grueling heart surgery and contemplating stepping away from the mob life for good, saw right through the thinly veiled menace in Sidwell's words. Refusing to show any sign of weakness, he stood his ground, his resolve hardened by years of facing down enemies. Online chatter among fans is electric, with one passionate viewer posting, "Sonny's not about to let Sidwell walk all over him. Bring on the fight." Given Sonny's storied history of outsmarting adversaries, it's likely he'll summon loyal allies like Jason Morgan or Brick to unearth concrete evidence of Sidwell's role in the near-fatal attack on Michael. Perhaps they'll dig into hidden financial transactions or intercept coded messages that tie Sidwell to the crime. Will Sonny's unyielding defiance escalate into a full-blown mob power struggle? Or will he opt for a more measured approach to safeguard his loved ones from becoming collateral damage in this brewing storm? Sonny's refusal to bow to Sidwell's provocation hints at a meticulously planned response, one that could turn the tables in dramatic fashion. With his deep-rooted connections to the five families, Sonny might orchestrate a strategic countermove to isolate Sidwell, cutting off his access to key resources and allies in the underworld. Imagine a covert operation where Sonny sets up a trap, using fake intel about a lucrative deal to lure Sidwell into exposing his own corrupt dealings, possibly tied to the controversial Esplanade redevelopment project involving Drew Quartermain. Another intriguing possibility lies in an unlikely partnership with Mayor Laura Collins, who has grown increasingly suspicious of Sidwell's growing influence over local politics. Recent episodes have dropped subtle hints of Laura's unease, and she might reluctantly join forces with Sonny to thwart Sidwell's takeover bid, creating a fascinating dynamic of uneasy trust. If Sonny, perhaps with the help of tech wizard Damian Spinelli's hacking prowess, uncovers irrefutable proof, maybe a recorded conversation or surveillance footage that Sidwell orchestrated the explosion targeting Michael, the response could be swift and ruthless. Will Sonny execute a brilliant chess-like strategy to outmaneuver his foe, or will he resort to a visceral, violent strike that puts everything he holds dear at risk? Sidwell's slippery tactic of admitting just enough to taunt Sonny while dodging full accountability for his crimes establishes a perilous precedent in this deadly game. His underhanded approach could backfire spectacularly if Sonny retaliates with the full force of his resources, but it also introduces unpredictable complications. Sidwell's rumored connections to Jordan Ashford's covert World Security Bureau operation could drag other key players, like Anna Devane, into the fray, turning a personal vendetta into a sprawling conflict with international stakes. Picture a scenario where Jordan's undercover work inadvertently exposes a link between Sidwell and a global crime syndicate, forcing Anna to navigate a minefield of loyalties as she decides whether to protect Sonny or maintain her mission's secrecy. The ripple effects could hit the entire Corinthos clan hard, including Carly Spencer, whose fierce protectiveness over her family might push her to take drastic measures, perhaps even striking a dangerous deal of her own to shield her children. Sonny's primary motivation has always been the safety of his loved ones, haunted by the fear that any perceived weakness will be exploited by enemies like Sidwell. Could this blatant admission of hostility from Sidwell push Sonny to unleash a torrent of retribution? Or will he find a way to outsmart his adversary without plunging Port Charles into a vortex of violence and destruction? Next, we're diving into a swirling storm of speculation surrounding a potential major exit from Port Charles, as recent developments have fans buzzing about the future of Cody Bell, portrayed by Josh Kelly. With news from the June 20th episode's closing credits revealing that Kelly has been removed from contract status, questions are mounting about whether Cody's time on the show is coming to an abrupt end. Join us as we explore this shocking twist with a fresh perspective, packed with creative rephrasings, newly invented plot details, and expanded insights into every facet of this storyline. From romantic entanglements gone awry to dangerous schemes and possible farewells, there's a lot to unpack about what might lie ahead for Cody Bell in the dramatic world of General Hospital. The bombshell dropped quietly yet powerfully in the fine print of the credits during the latest episode, where eagle-eyed viewers noticed that Josh Kelly, the actor behind the rugged and often troubled Cody Bell, is no longer listed under contract with the show. This subtle but significant change has sent ripples through the fanbase, sparking heated discussions about whether this signals Cody's departure from the beloved soap. Could this be the beginning of the end for a character who has carved out a unique space in Port Charles with his rough-around-edges charm? Adding fuel to the fire, Cody's recent storyline has taken a sharp, unexpected turn, veering away from a blossoming romance into a murky web of deception. Initially, Cody seemed headed toward a heartwarming future with Molly Lansing Davis, their chemistry hinting at a stable and loving partnership. However, that path was derailed when Christina Corinthos Davis swooped in with a risky proposition, dragging Cody into a plot to seduce Ava Jerome and sabotage her budding relationship with Rick Lansing. This abrupt shift in narrative feels jarring to longtime viewers, prompting speculation that the writers might be hastily crafting an exit strategy for Cody, possibly due to behind-the-scenes decisions. Is this tangled scheme with Ava a deliberate setup to push Cody out of town, or could there be more to this sudden change in direction? Delving deeper into this sudden pivot, the seduction plot involving Ava Jerome appears to have materialized out of thin air, catching even the most dedicated fans off guard with its lack of build-up. Cody, previously on track for a tender romance with Molly, now finds himself ensnared in Christina's manipulative gaming mission to charm Ava and shatter her connection with Rick, presumably for reasons tied to family loyalties or hidden agendas. Could this out-of-left-field storyline be the writer's way of wrapping up Cody's arc in preparation for Josh Kelly's exit from the show? Imagine a scenario where Cody's involvement with Ava spirals into a catastrophic misunderstanding, perhaps with Rick uncovering the deception through a private investigator tailing Ava's every move. If Rick confronts Cody with evidence of the betrayal, it might force Cody to make a life-altering decision, either to flee Port Charles in disgrace or face severe repercussions from Rick's wrath. Another possibility looms: Cody, already burdened by a history of legal troubles, might find himself arrested if the plan goes awry, perhaps caught in a sting operation orchestrated by Rick's allies in law enforcement. The emotional toll of losing Molly's trust could be the final straw, driving Cody to pack his bags and leave behind a trail of broken dreams. What will be the ultimate trigger that decides his fate? Beyond the immediate drama with Ava, the potential consequences of Cody's actions paint a grim picture for his future in Port Charles, with multiple paths leading to a possible exit. If Cody's attempt to undermine Ava's romance backfires, it could irreparably damage his chances of reconciling with Molly, whose heartbreak might push her into the arms of another suitor, perhaps a new character introduced as a compassionate confidant. Feeling isolated and rejected, Cody might choose to escape the town's judgmental whispers, embarking on a soul-searching journey far from the familiar streets of Port Charles. Alternatively, Rick Lansing, known for his ruthless streak when crossed, could take matters into his own hands, issuing an ultimatum backed by threats of exposing Cody's past misdeeds, maybe a long-buried secret involving a shady deal gone wrong. The danger escalates when we consider Ava's own notorious history. Her dark past suggests she's capable of extreme measures if she feels betrayed. Could Christina's ill-conceived plan lead to a violent confrontation, perhaps a staged accident orchestrated by Ava that leaves Cody's survival in question? Fans are already theorizing about a tragic twist where Cody meets a fatal end, forever altering the Corinthos family dynamics as guilt and blame swirl in the aftermath. The fallout from this complex web of deceit is almost guaranteed to end in disaster, no matter which direction the storyline takes, leaving Cody's future hanging by a thread. Whether it's the loss of Molly's love, a vengeful strike from Rick, or a deadly encounter with Ava, every outcome seems to point toward heartache and turmoil for Cody Bell. Adding another layer of intrigue, there's a chance that Cody's legal entanglements could resurface in a dramatic courtroom battle, with evidence of his involvement in Christina's scheme used against him by a cunning prosecutor, perhaps tied to a larger investigation into Port Charles's underbelly. If imprisoned, Cody's departure from the main canvas could be temporary or permanent, depending on the writer's long-term plans. The crumbling of his romance with Molly, once a beacon of hope, now stands as a somber reminder of how quickly fortunes can change in soap opera land. Will Cody find a way to redeem himself before it's too late? Or is his exit an inevitable conclusion to a life marked by poor choices and bad luck? Viewers can't help but brace for the emotional impact of whatever resolution awaits. Of course, it's crucial to note that being taken off contract doesn't automatically spell the end for Josh Kelly's time on General Hospital. There's a sliver of hope for fans rooting for Cody's survival, as Kelly could transition to a recurring role, popping up sporadically when the storyline demands his presence, perhaps during key family events, or to tie up loose ends in Christina's machinations. This arrangement would allow Cody to remain a peripheral yet impactful figure in Port Charles, maintaining connections with characters like Molly or even forging new rivalries. However, the possibility of a full exit looms large, and it's wise to prepare for the likelihood that Cody Bell might indeed be walking through the exit door sooner rather than later. Could the writers surprise us with a redemption arc, where Cody exposes a larger conspiracy involving Ava and Rick, earning forgiveness from Molly? Or will they stick to a more tragic farewell, leaving fans mourning the loss of a character with untapped potential? The uncertainty only heightens the anticipation for what's next. In wrapping up this deep dive, the potential departure of Cody Bell from General Hospital has sparked a whirlwind of emotions and theories among the show's dedicated audience. From the unexpected derailment of his romance with Molly to the perilous scheme with Ava and the looming threats from Rick, every element of Cody's current arc suggests a dramatic turning point is near. Whether he leaves Port Charles in shame, behind bars, or under more fatal circumstances, the impact of his storyline will resonate for seasons to come. Stay tuned to our channel for the latest spoilers and updates as we track Cody's journey. Will he defy the odds and stay, or bid a bittersweet goodbye to the town that shaped him? Next, we're delving into the emotional turmoil surrounding Curtis Ashford and Portia Robinson as they face a marriage-threatening crisis rooted in deceit, blackmail, and the unrelenting pressure of Drew Quartermain's schemes in Port Charles. With secrets unraveling and trust hanging by a thread, the stakes for this couple have never been higher. Join us as we explore this heart-wrenching storyline with a fresh perspective, enriched with creative rephrasings, inventive plot twists, and expanded details woven into each segment. From the clash of betrayal and loyalty to the fragile hope of reconciliation, we'll uncover what might lie ahead for Curtis and Portia as they navigate this storm. Let's dive into the complexities of their relationship and the pivotal decisions that could redefine their future. At the heart of this gripping drama is Curtis Ashford's unwavering decision to stand as a shield for Portia Robinson, protecting her from the vicious blackmail orchestrated by Drew Quartermain over her unethical tampering with Heather Weber's lab results. Despite the seething anger and profound sense of betrayal that burns within him, fueled by Portia's pattern of secrecy and the countless lies that have repeatedly shattered the foundation of their marriage, Curtis remains resolute by her side. In the quiet moments, you can almost see the conflict etched on his face, torn between fury and a lingering need to safeguard her from ruin. His support is a lifeline as Portia faces the potential destruction of her medical career, but the question lingers: once Drew's iron grip slackens, will Curtis turn his back on Portia forever? Or does his protective nature hint at a deep and spoken desire to salvage their fractured love? Could this crisis be the catalyst that either mends their broken bond or severs it irreparably? Perhaps Curtis is already envisioning a future without Portia, quietly consulting with a trusted confidant like Stella Henry to weigh his options while keeping up appearances for now. The tension is palpable as viewers wait to see if this is a temporary alliance or a sign of enduring commitment. Curtis's rage toward Portia is raw and justified, rooted in the devastating discovery of her hidden actions and the subsequent blackmail by Drew, a painful echo of past trust issues that have plagued their union, such as the long-concealed truth about Trina Robinson's paternity. Each deception feels like a fresh wound to Curtis, reopening scars from battles they thought were behind them. Yet, despite this simmering resentment, his choice to defend Portia reveals a complex web of motivations, perhaps a dedication to shielding Trina from the fallout, and resolved feelings for Portia, or an unconditional love that transcends even the deepest betrayals. His actions speak louder than his cold words, as he collaborates with Michael Corinthos to devise a counterstrategy against Drew's manipulative tactics, possibly digging into Drew's own shady dealings to turn the tables. Does this fierce loyalty indicate that Curtis still sees Portia as his true partner, his wifey for life, or is he merely playing the role of protector until the immediate danger passes? Imagine late-night strategy sessions where Curtis grapples with his emotions, torn between walking away and holding onto the family he's fought so hard to build. Fans are divided on whether this is a sign of hope or a prelude to goodbye. Portia, on the other hand, finds herself in a desperate struggle to preserve both her career at General Hospital and the fragile remnants of her marriage, leaning heavily on Curtis for support even as she senses the frost in his demeanor signaling a dangerous breaking point. Her initial reluctance to fully disclose the extent of her tampering with Heather's lab work, revealing the truth only when Corneretta's deepened the chasm of distrust between them, leaving her painfully aware of how brittle their bond has become. In a moment of vulnerability, Portia might pour her heart out to Curtis during a quiet, tearful confrontation at home, begging for forgiveness and invoking their shared love and Trina's need for a stable family as reasons to fight for what they have. Could she reveal an additional layer to her deception, perhaps admitting that she altered the results not just for ambition but to protect a vulnerable patient, hoping to soften Curtis's judgment? If Curtis's support is merely a tactical move to neutralize Drew's threat, will he abandon her the moment the crisis subsides? Or can Portia demonstrate through actions made by stepping up in a public defense of Curtis's honor that their marriage is worth the effort to rebuild? Her repeated excuses for past lies may not hold water this time, leaving viewers to wonder if she can truly win back his faith. The protective facade Curtis maintains could easily crumble once Drew's leverage over Portia dissipates, opening the door to a future where their paths diverge in dramatic fashion. If Curtis chooses to walk away, Portia might be left to battle for her professional reputation alone, perhaps facing a grueling ethics board hearing without his emotional support. While Trina struggles to cope with the disintegration of her parents' marriage amid confiding in a close friend like Jocelyn Jacks about her fears of losing her family unit. Alternatively, the shared adversity of facing Drew's machinations could reignite a spark of love in Curtis, especially if memories of their past victories together, like overcoming external threats to Trina, surface during heated confrontations with their adversary. Another intriguing wrinkle emerges with Jordan Ashford's increasing presence in Curtis's orbit. Her rekindled closeness might tempt him to revisit old feelings, yet falls short of fully pulling him away if Portia makes a heartfelt gesture, such as publicly taking accountability for her mistakes to protect Curtis's name. Fan forums are abuzz with divided opinions, many hoping Portia's repeated deceptions pave the way for a divorce, clearing the path for a long-awaited reunion between Curtis and Jordan. Will Curtis's loyalty endure beyond the immediate threat of Drew's blackmail, or will his pent-up anger over betrayal ultimately dissolve their marriage once the dust settles? Complicating matters further, the broader implications of this crisis could ripple through Port Charles, affecting not just Curtis and Portia but their entire network of relationships. If Drew's blackmail escalates, perhaps by leaking doctored evidence to the press to smear Portia's name, fallout could draw in allies like Michael and Carly Spencer, who might rally to unearth dirt on Drew's own questionable business ventures as a counterattack. Trina, caught in the crossfire, could face her own emotional turmoil, potentially lashing out at Portia for jeopardizing their family's stability or seeking solace in a risky new romance that spells trouble. Meanwhile, Heather Weber herself might seize on the scandal, using her own cunning to manipulate the situation from behind bars, possibly striking a deal with an unsuspecting player to further destabilize Portia's life as revenge for the tampered results. Each twist in this saga adds layers of complexity, raising the question of whether Curtis and Portia can weather this storm as a united front, or if their shared history will be reduced to a painful memory. Will they find a way to rebuild on the ashes of broken trust, or is this the final chapter of their love story? In conclusion, the unfolding drama between Curtis Ashford and Portia Robinson on General Hospital promises to be a roller coaster of emotions, with betrayal, blackmail, and the faint glimmer of hope for reconciliation at its core. As Curtis stands by Portia against Drew Quartermain's ruthless schemes, the fragility of their marriage is laid bare, leaving fans on the edge of their seats about whether love or resentment will ultimately prevail. From Portia's desperate fight for forgiveness to the looming threat of a permanent split, every moment is charged with tension. Stay tuned to our channel for the latest spoilers and updates as we follow this compelling storyline. Will Curtis and Portia defy the odds to save their bond, or are they destined for a heartbreaking goodbye? Share your thoughts and predictions in the comments below. We're eager to hear if you think their love can survive this latest test. Let's keep the conversation going as we await the next dramatic turn in Port Charles.